the shadow in my life, ransom for my life. Oh, hear my song. You are good. Oh, you are good. Let the King of
little sad, actually. I can remember after hightailing it out of Englewood, hoping never to return. But when I did come back and feel God's call for me to be in Englewood, that I didn't believe that it was a good place to be. And so Jeremiah 29:5 talks about building houses and living in them. Well, I heard the build houses part. So we got a house and this is the one. But we came here with the attitude of making sure our children didn't play in the front so they wouldn't get tainted by the other neighborhood kids. And we only entered through the back door because we thought that we didn't want people to know when we were home and when we weren't. We put a little lamp in the bay window and a timer, you know? I thought because I was here, this neighborhood was gonna transform and the gospel of Christ was gonna make it this amazing place to be because God called me here. I had no connection with my neighbors. I wasn't getting to know anybody here until a horrible accident and tragedy happened. And then I needed my neighbors all of a sudden. I needed to believe that God was here. I needed to believe that my daughters were safe. And it was in getting to know my neighbors that safety actually was applied. They were already watching my family and knew our names. They were already protecting my house when I didn't even know who they were. And I'm so thankful for the lesson I learned from living in this house. That is what I mean in practice too. We must return. Don't just move back, but return to previously forsaken places. Live in them, learn from them, love them. That is the only way we can truly practice presence in these often neglected neighborhoods. So as you can see, us moving into communities does not necessarily mean that everything's gonna be perfect. And may not transform the way we thought it would, but I'm here to let you know that whenever God is involved, there is always transformation. The only thing is, all the transformation and changing might be happening in you. The verse on the Privilege song, they pull down the mask and cross the vacant lot, pull out their guns and blankets them with shots. Bodies start to scatter as bullets ricochet. 20 minutes later, bodies are carted away. But hey, scenes like this don't even move me when seen on a television or in a movie. But this one was happening here next to me. And even as I'm rapping it, fear runs through me, because truly, it matters if it doesn't before. Black lives matter when a bullet's hitting right next door. It is the day I'm talking about where I knew how much my neighbors loved me.
Just coming home, Bible study, happy family through the back door. As soon as I reach the back door, bah, bah, shots go off. Sound like they're right next to me, right? Rush to get everybody in the house, and I can look out that front bay window and I can see the lights and hear the sirens, and it's right in front of my house. And I'm going, whoa, 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 whoa. God, this wasn't part of the plan. So I walk to the front and I go out that front door and I realize that, okay, I don't know any of the people out here. We've been living here for almost a year, but I've been held up fortress in my house. And I come out the door and I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna talk to somebody, I'm gonna talk to her. You know, she'll probably know what's going on. So I step off the steps and I go, excuse me. She turns around, oh, hey, how you doing, babe? I'm like, I'm good. Do you know what happened? She's like, I don't. I just came out myself. This is so scary. And then her face like changes. She goes, and I'm like, what? What's wrong? She goes, oh my God. She looks at her watch. She says, it's almost 7 o'clock. It's a Wednesday. Oh my God, you must have just been at your back door, because I know on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays you teach school and you pick up your daughters around 3:30 and y'all get home around 4. But on Wednesdays you teach Bible study and you get home at 7, maybe 7:05. And y'all must have just been at the door. Are Michelle okay? How are Jasmine and Jay? Oh my goodness. And I'm going, and your name is? I learned Miss Barbara name that day. But that day, right, I learned that my neighbor had been so integrally woven in my life, and I didn't even know it because I was holed up fortress inside. And she looks and she says, baby, why don't you go over there and ask what happened? Because the shooting happened at the house on this side. But the porch is leaning just a little bit, no grass in the front. Usually it's about 10 to 12 guys on the porch playing cards and dominoes, something. I said, you want me to ask them? She said, it's okay, they're nice, baby, just go ask. So I walk on over, and that porch is higher than mine, so I'm kind of looking up. I'm like, hey, guys, hello. And one guy turned around, what? He's like, oh, hey, Pastor J, man, good to see you, man. What's up? And I'm like, how do they know? What happened? And like, oh, man, we were just out here playing cards, doing our thing. Somebody came across the vacant lot and just started spraying the house with bullets. We don't even know. We don't bother nobody. We haven't done anything. And I'm going, okay, is this normal? They're like, no, this is not normal. You know, things like this normally happen. But they look at me and they say, don't worry, we're going to take care of it. I was like, oh. Can you be just a little more specific about what you mean by take care of it? Just so I know whether we need to take a vacation or something. That's all I know. And he's like, no, don't worry about it. It's cool. We good, Pastor Jay. We always take care of this block. We take care of all the kids. We do the block party every day. No, we got this. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And they're like, he don't believe us. Tell him about the car. And I'm like, okay. So they start telling me about this story about my block and like how I was a guy that used to drive up and down the block like 80 miles an hour, super fast, showing off his car. But kids are outside playing football, jumping rope, doing the things that they do. And so the guys on the porch are upset. Slow down on our block. Don't drive fast. And the guy's like, whatever, man, I do what I want to do, you know, and he just waving them off. So they caught him at the block before this at a stop sign. One guy gets in front of him, you're going to have to stop driving fast on our block, man. We're not playing with you. The guy gets out because it's just one person. He's like, man, if you don't get out of my way, I'm going to run you over, da-da-da. While he gets out the car, all the other guys, the other 10, 12 come jumping over fences, out of gangways, right? And he's trying to, oh, no, you trying to drive off? I was like, what y'all do? They said, we started rocking his car back and forth so he couldn't drive off. Shoot, we flipped it over. Yo, I was like, whoa. I said, man, yo, that's not how I would have handled that situation. But I have never felt more safe in my life. Michelle, bring the babies outside to meet these fine. And I told them, y'all play right here in this yard with these fine gentlemen and this lovely woman who know your whole life story anyway, can watch you. And I know you know. But in that moment, I recognized here I was building myself a fortress, right? Trying to protect myself from the evils of the outside. I had not returned to this place. I had built a house, but I had not settled down. They were the bad neighbor people, and I was saving the place just because I had moved in. And God was like, wake up. The best part of residing is getting to know the amazing people who are here and seeing how God's image is displayed in them and the amazing ways that they take care of one another. And I didn't bring you here to change anything. I brought you here so you can really see the truth. I mean, I think about it, man. If that guy was driving up and down the streets, I'd have like came up with a petition to get speed bumps put in or something, you know. Would have took months, maybe a year, knowing Chicago politics. But they fixed it in one day. People creep down that street. You know? You begin to be transformed by the relationships of the place. Churches, individuals, neighbors, all of us, like we have to settle down, get nestled into our communities and get to know people who are so different from us that live. Like I would have never chosen those guys to be the people that watch my daughters, but it made so much sense that day. Even with the brokenness of knowing there was just a shooting there. It's not clean and perfect. It was messy, but made sense. When I was no longer like, God, I want to choose my own position and where, you know, how I look at people, God changed my position. No. Stop forsaking the position I gave you. I put you there so that you could begin to see people for who they are, not who you have been made to believe they are.
Right? Don't just live there. You need to return everything, your mentality, your attitude, your resources, the way you think about it, everything, so you get back in that community. Now, this is an important distinction that I want us to make. Are there people in here who have stories of, or anecdotes around whether you made a decision to move back or you got relocated or you're thinking about it where the physical body moved, but none of your attitudes changed? Come on.
Yeah, so for me, I never really felt like I belonged anywhere. So I was born and raised in the hood. But my grandparents, wanting to do what's best for me, sent me to private schools in the suburbs. Catholic high school, went to a Jesuit college. So I'm a very good, I can blend in, you could put me anywhere and I will be fine. Now that I've been in all these different places and I blend in all these different places very well, where you're gonna fight, where you're gonna dig your roots in and really stand for something. So as Malcolm X says, if you don't stand for anything, it's like after being educated out there and learning how to stand up and speak and facilitate, and you've given me all these tools. So now what am I gonna do with all these tools? Oh, okay. I'm planting myself in my broken, forsaken community. Now I have to be careful because I don't want to be seen as the angry black woman. You know, I have to speak in just the right way so that I'm manipulating the conversation. So like, okay, I know what you want me to say, but I'm going to make you come up with the idea and make you think that you came up with the idea, but it was really me planting it. It's like I'm always playing these games with people
That's
yeah.
aggravating.
Right. And
Latina.
it's exhausting. It's speaking the right language no matter where you go, but always being true to yourself. So, and it's seriously, it's so exhausting.
That's the return though. That's the key.
Right.
See, because what you've realized that if you don't center yourself in a space,
Right.
all of that shapeshifting will disorient you.
Right, and now I'm residing.
That's the key.
And so it's like both for me. It's residing, and now I'm returning, and I'm digging in roots, and it's like, okay. So I never really left.
Yep.
Because I never felt like, oh, I don't want to be there. It never felt that way. I just never felt like I belonged anywhere.
Yeah, that's good.
That's my story.
I was raised, they said to me, myself and my closest friends, you guys are going to make it. You're going to get out of here. That was just instilled in me from the time I can remember. And I bought into it. And I was like, you're right, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to make it. And so I went to school and I fought and I went, and before I was a pastor, I was in the corporate world and I succeeded. At least I thought. And so when the Lord called me and he said, okay, now the places I've taken you and the things you learn and you, the lens that you've been able to view all of the issues from your neighborhood, you have to go back now. And so when I came on staff with World Impact, they were gonna, basically they cover my housing. So I had an option. I could have been in a loft somewhere, and I was like, no, we're going to be right in the building. So we're basically in a parish type situation. So I work in the building that I live in, and the church is in the building, and we're right in Newark, and I wouldn't want to have it any other way.
That's it.